Hi, everybody. Good evening. Am I properly audible and visible both? ठीक है. I get only one reply, which is very random. Can I have more firm replies? Am I audible and visible both? यार इसमें एक मिनट. Great, got it. So I think I'm audible and visible both. Thank you so much. So, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the pre course again. I should say, I'm sorry, but welcome to this coding bootcamp of ours. It is very, very similar to a pre course we used to have, right? Has any one of you ever attended any of our coding pre courses? We had a pre course very similar to this. So, have you ever attended a pre course like this? Or has anyone attended the free live classes on the website? The audience that is here today. Have you attended any of our free live classes? I don't know what you're saying yes for, but I assume you have attended. Or is it someone? Okay, so someone says no. What about the others? Okay, so Amol says yes. Also, you can feel free to say a yes or a no. I mean, there would be no brownie points for any answer. So okay, great. I believe I know Shrutika. Hi, Shrutika. I believe I saw you in the aptitude boot camp as well. So, okay, any which ways, guys, to give you an idea about what we'll be covering in the next few days, is that okay, Sai Teja says this is his first live class. So there are a lot many people who have today as their first live class with AccioJob. Or maybe today is also the first live class of our boot camp that is currently going on, right? So what happens in this boot camp is that we'll be going ahead and helping you start with the basics of coding, right? You might be someone coming from a tech background, or maybe someone coming from a non-tech background, or let's just leave tech, non-tech. You wish to upskill yourself, you wish to switch your career, anything, right? The best part about coding is that it requires no degree as such. It is for anyone and everyone who's coming in, right? So the next 4 days that you go ahead with AccioJob, you can go ahead and learn coding with us, right? And then you can decide maybe if you wish to go ahead with coding as a career or not, right? This would be absolutely free of cost. We won't be asking you to pay anything for these classes. So hope you enjoy these classes. And also, guys, at the end of the class, you will be solving an assignment. So make sure you go ahead and solve that assignment that you get on your WhatsApp at the end of the class. I hope everyone here has joined the official WhatsApp group, which we've only formulated for these purposes, right? So we formulated an official WhatsApp group for the coding bootcamp. So I hope everyone is a part of the WhatsApp group. If not, guys, you can go ahead and ask us on Discord, right? We'll be providing you all the assignment links there as well, and we'll be sharing with you WhatsApp messages for those links, for the assignment links. Okay. So I think a lot of people are still discussing about this is my second time attending. Okay. First class, and what about the class? Okay. And what happens today? So just to give you an idea about what happens today is that today I very shortly be joined by Bhavya Pandey. He's our curriculum head, right? And he's been taking these sessions for quite some time now. He's been teaching our main batch students, and of course, he taught our pre-course students once as well. So he is someone who's actually formulated the curriculum, and he also has been teaching it. So he very well knows where students lack, or where students lag behind, or where students actually go ahead and get the better of the course, right? So this is something. So he'll be the best person to guide you when it comes to coding. Now, Bhavya, are you here? Can you take over?
Hello, yeah. So, can someone confirm if I am audible? Okay, anyways. So, hello guys, good evening. So I'm really excited to see you all. It's always good to see new people, new faces, because you carry a lot of excitement with you, and excitement brings a lot of positivity. So really nice to see you all, right? And as Shikha has already told you, so we are going to have this 4-day boot camp, especially with the purpose of introducing you to the world of coding, right? So that is our main intention. That is what we want to achieve here, right? So we understand that you're coming from very diverse backgrounds, right? So someone might be from engineering, someone might be from some non-engineering background as well. So in my past, I've taught people from BCom as well. People have done their MBAs as well. So there's a very diverse audience that we get in these courses, right? So I'm hoping that this time also we have people from all the horizons, people from all the spectrums. So can you quickly tell me what are your backgrounds? Like, which degree did you pursue? Engineering, non-engineering, and if non-engineering, what exactly was it? So you can just go ahead and tell me in the chat. I'm monitoring that as well. Okay. So that is okay. Hello, Sojitra. Hello, all of you. So that is just one thing that I wanted to know. Okay. And the reason why I have asked this question is because I want you guys to see the answers that your friends are giving, right? So just look at the diverse backgrounds of the people that you will be studying with, right? So it's not necessary that you have to be from engineering or you have to be from a specific branch of engineering, because as Shikha has already mentioned, coding is one such thing where when it comes to taking the jobs, the degrees, the official qualifications, the papers don't matter as such, the mark sheet does not matter as such, right? What matters at the end of the day when you will be sitting for your interviews is how you are as a person. What are your technical, you can say, achievements? What are your technical skills? And not only that, with the help of those technical skills, what have you actually achieved? What is the problem that you have actually solved, right? So these are certain things that I just wanted to give you to think about, right? Just think about all these things. Just think about the opportunities that this world of coding can bring to you. Okay, just think about these things. And before I go ahead, I'll just give a quick introduction of myself, right? So Shikha has told you about what my job is. I'll tell you about, like my background in a very quick manner. Okay. So just like you guys, just like most of you guys, I have also been, I've also gone to an engineering college. So I went to BITS Pilani for my engineering, and my branch was electronics and instrumentation. So technically, I am an electronics and instrumentation engineer, but I think you can understand that I am not pursuing that anymore, right? Neither electronics nor instrumentation. So right now, I am also into the world of IT, right? I'm working in AccioJob full time as a backend developer in the day, and in the night we have the classes that you guys are going to join very shortly, right? So I am kind of having a hybrid role here. So I also work in the backend department. I also work in the tech team, and I switch my hats. I keep switching the hats. I also work as an instructor. So I am also a teacher here. I am also an engineer here, and I also, like in the remaining time that I get. So basically, I'm also looking after the curriculum that you guys are going to go through in the DSA track, in the coding track, right? So these are some of the responsibilities that I cater to. But again, that was not the point that I wanted to get into, right? So let me tell you the story of my preparation, right? When I started preparing for my placements, right? As soon as you enter the third year or the fourth year, the pressure of placements, internships, everything is really very high, right? The pressure is very high. So that is when the people actually start looking after their options, right? What are all the placement options I have? IT is one obvious options for all the engineering people, right? IT is one very obvious option. So then you start looking for resources, you start preparing, and you start going after one thing that is very commonly known, that is very commonly passed to you by your seniors: DSA. Everyone says start preparing for DSA, start preparing for DSA. DSA is going to get you placed in a good product based IT company. You're going to get a good 15 to 20 LPA package, right? And that's the minimum. There is no upper limit in IT industry, right? So then you start doing all of that stuff, you start going through that. I also went through that, right? But while I was doing it, one problem that I always faced was, as a beginner, Right now I have spent a lot of time with that, so it might appear easy to me. But as a beginner, the one problem that I always faced was, okay, internet has everything, right? It has theory, it has theory related videos, it has questions, it has solutions, it has everything. But this feature of internet that people are actually praising about, this is the feature that got me demotivated. I was like, if there's a lot to cover, if these are the things to cover, where do I get started? Because as a fresher, you are not aware of what is really important for you. You are not aware of how you can really get started. And I also started pursuing an online course. But you know what happened? In an online course, there is no discipline that you are able to follow, right? So in the end, I just went off track, and first part of my preparation was a very major failure. But then, thanks to my college, the nature of my college, Bits Pilani is a tier one good engineering college, right? So then I went to my friends. I just confessed my situation to them. I told them कि भाई नहीं हो रहा है, मतलब मुझसे कोडिंग नहीं हो पा रही है. I'm not able to understand where do I start from. So my friends guided me, right? My friends referred me to some seniors who were already placed in good companies, right? Good companies like Microsoft, Google, Amazon, big startups, right? So startups are also going to pay you very well, right? The startups which have good funding, big startup, big scale startups, they are also going to pay you really well, and you will be amazed to hear the amount of money that startups are paying these days, right? So startups, and I talked to some seniors. Then I realized that these are the topics I should focus on first, right? So then, with the help of my seniors and my friends, with their guidance, I was able to come on track finally. And with their help, with one of my seniors who has really helped me a lot, with his help and one of my batchmates, I was really able to finally understand what this coding is all about, what is DSA all about, how can I actually go ahead and start approaching different problems, right? So what I want you to understand from this story is, without guidance I failed, right? Without guidance I failed in the first part of my preparation. In the second half, when I went to my friends and when I consulted my seniors, I was lucky to be in a tier one college, right? And I was lucky to have good peer group, good set of batchmates, and good set of seniors who could guide me. But over the years, what we have realized is, we, as in the AccioJob team, has realized is that not all the colleges are able to provide this to the students. So there is a very, very, very big gap in what the colleges are teaching us and what the companies are expecting from us, right? To bridge this gap, to make sure that every student is getting the facilities of a tier 1 college, we have come up with the course, right? That is the strategy, that is the mindset behind coming up with this course, right? So every challenge that a student faces, especially the students who are not from tier 1 colleges, because as I told you, in my in my scenario, I was lucky enough to get a campus placement with whatever amount of preparation I had done, because my college was bringing me companies, right? Because I had prepared with the help of my seniors. So all of those aspects combined, I was able to get a decent, good placement in one go, right? But every other college is not able to provide these things, right? You are not going to get all these facilities in any random engineering college. And that is why AccioJob comes up with the idea of providing a uniform platform with a structured curriculum, with instructors from the companies that you would want to join, right? And maybe even instructors from the companies that you might not have heard of, but companies which are paying well. Because ultimately, we as students, we are loyal to the company which pays well, right? If it's not named Google, we don't care, right? If the company's name is XYZ, but it's going to pay you 15 lakhs per annum, you really don't care at this point of your career, right? I think this is something we can confess with each other. So that was my mindset also, and I think that is the mindset of majority of students, right? So long story short, all of us want to get a good package, right? My qualification, so I've already told you, I have done my bachelor's in engineering from Bits Pilani in electronics and instrumentation, right? I graduated in 2021. My first job was in Schlumberger. It's a energy sector company, and look, I was working out of Pune, so the location was Pune, and I was working in the capacity of a full stack web developer. Right now, I'm working full time with AccioJob, the company whose bootcamp we are all joining today, right? And I'm working in the capacity of a backend engineer, plus a DSA instructor, plus I'm also looking after the curriculum of what you guys are going to go through, right? So these are the job roles that I perform. These are my qualifications for someone interested, right? Anyways, coming back to the point, right? So as freshers, we are really interested in getting a good job because we realize that enough is enough, right? We are all 23, 24, or 22 years old, right? All of us understand that at this point of time, we need to be capable on our own, right? We need to really take a stand for ourselves. We need to become independent, and it is the high time to pay back to our parents for what they have done for us, right? Payback does not mean in terms of money. I'm not saying that you get a good job and just feed them with money. That's not what I'm talking about. Payback in the sense that this is the time that we show them that whatever they have done for us has really brought some fruits, has really brought some results, right? So that is the mindset that I think all of us share, right? At this point in our life, at this age that we are in, 22, 23, 24, whatever, right? This is the time that we have realized that we really need to do something with our lives, right? And if you are joining this boot camp, I think you have already taken one step as compared to any other person. You have actually taken one step towards the betterment of your career. At least you're aware enough that you want to do something, that you are joining a boot camp that is going to help you get started with coding, right? So first of all, congratulations for taking this step, right? But again, let me remind you, this is just the first step, right? It is really important that you keep walking on this journey that you have chosen, right? So these next 4 days are going to be really important for you, in the sense you will be introduced with the basics of coding, right? You will be introduced with the basics of coding. In these 4 days, focus on whatever Abhi is going to give you, right? Focus on whatever Abhi is going to teach you, right? Implement that in your free time, right? Practice that in your free time. And as Shikha was mentioning, she is going to pass on an assignment to all of you at the end of the class, right? So focus on solving that assignment. How are you going to be able to solve the assignment? Attend. It will be based on the contents of the lecture. So attend the lectures, right? Make sure you are understanding everything and implement your understanding with the help of that assignment. If you attempt that assignment on your own, you will really be able to understand what is going on. You will really be able to understand the aspects of coding that you were earlier not familiar with. These 4 days will give you the opportunity to spend some time with coding. Be honest in these 4 days, right? If you really start liking coding after these 4 days, then you can understand that, okay, this is one career trajectory that I can choose. This is one path that I can take forward. This is one path where I can move forward with my career, right? So these 4 days, although it's a free course, but treat it as, as you would have treated a paid course. Treat it with utmost sincerity, because if you are not sincere enough in these 4 days, my advice, just don't attend. If you don't want to be sincere, just don't do it. If you are doing it, everyone should understand you should do it in a very professional and a very sincere manner. Otherwise, there is no point of doing it just for the sake of ki, okay, there were classes, I was free, I just attended those. If this is the attitude with which you are going to attend, you are not going to get 100% results out of it. So treat this as a very good opportunity to understand your interests, to make sure where your interest lies, right? This is one opportunity for you, and what's there to lose? It's for free, right? So we only have things to gain. We have knowledge to gain, we have experience to gain, right? And we have this one opportunity where we can figure out where our interest really lies, right? So that is one important message I wanted to pass on to you guys, that treat these 4 days with with a very careful attitude and a very sincere attitude, right? Only then you are going to be able to decide which path you want to choose for your career, right? If you like coding in the next 4 days, then you can think about joining the coding program. If you don't like it, then you can basically think about choosing something else, right? So that is the first and most important message I wanted to give you guys, right? So now let's talk about the different aspects of this course, right? As I was telling earlier, in my case I was lucky enough to find a mentor as one of my seniors, right? As mentor, one of my batchmates as a constant peer with whom I was just constantly comparing myself with him, right? How much progress have you made today? This is what I have done, this is what you have done. Let's compare it, right? Let us clear each other's doubts. So this is the attitude with which I was taking my preparation in the second half, right? So first time I failed, the second time I started it with more sincerity, and this is about the fourth year. What I'm telling you right now is about the fourth year, right? So then what happened? I realized that there are certain aspects that a student needs in preparation, right? And what AccioJob has tried to do in the course is bring bring to you exactly what you need to know, right? So the curriculum is going to be structured. It's going to have everything that you need to know to understand each and every aspect of DSA, right? If you understand each and every aspect of DSA, you are going to be having a very strong foundation in programming. When you will have a very strong foundation in programming, companies are going to come ask you DSA questions, right? Because your fundamentals are going to be clear. You are going to be you will be able to answer the questions. And what happens when you answer questions in an interview? You get selected for the job, right? That is the whole flow I want you guys to understand, right? And what's most important in this whole discussion? Upskilling, right? The first step is very important. Students generally focus on the second step, and I won't blame you guys because it's been a long time and all of you want to get placed as soon as possible. But placement is not going to just come and walk up to you, right? It's going to happen. You are going to get placed in any company that you desire, in your dream company or any other product company that you want to work for. You are only going to get there if your fundamentals are clear. Just by thinking about going there, just by maybe doing anything else other than preparation, you will not be able to get into your desired company, right? So one message that I have for you loud and clear is, it should be your first motive to gain each and everything that your instructor is delivering, right? Even in today's bootcamp, in the next 4 days, right? And also when you join the main course, your main focus should be to understand each and every concept that the instructor is delivering, right? Whatever is being delivered in the particular class, whatever questions are being solved, you should be the first one to solve all of them, right? Just after the lecture or during the lecture, whenever you want to. So the point of this story is, you will have a guided curriculum, you will have a proper structured curriculum, which is designed specially for beginners, as in it increases in difficulty as you move on, right? So in the first month you will be having lesser content to digest. In the second month you will have more content to digest. In the third month you will have even more content to digest. So it is built in an iterative manner. So first, when you're just getting started with the coding, you will not be able to understand each and every aspect. So that's why the pace is kept really slow. Then going forward, when you will have spent some time in our course, or in our you can say the whole boot camp that we have, the whole software development boot camp I'm talking about, right? The larger course that we have, when you will have spent some time there, you will keep becoming comfortable with coding, different aspects of coding. And you will not even realize, if you keep focusing, if you keep putting your efforts, if you keep following every lecture, if you keep getting engaged with the whole system in general, you will not even realize 4 or 5 months will pass, and you will end up becoming a shiny, a really valuable software engineer, right? But what is really important from your side, what is really required from my side, from your side? Dedication, consistency, and hard work, right? So you should be honestly putting in hard work, and then no one can stop you, right? We have had people who did not have degrees. We have had people who came in with an 8 year career gap. We have had people from all the backgrounds who did not even know what a computer program looks like, right? They had no idea. But with the help of our course, with the help of the instructors, with the help of mentors, with the help of the ecosystem that we provide, right? All of them were able to get a job, right? And don't just focus on the job. With their hard work, they were first able to upskill themselves. Then, then they got the job. So always remember, job is the result. Job is the end result. Job is not something that you will get just upon joining, right? It will come as a result of the hard work that you will show in the course, in the duration of the course, right? So that is the general idea that I wanted to give you. You will get everything that you need to become a good software developer from AccioJob side, but in you know you know against that, we are going to provide you with everything, but we also want something from you. What is that one thing? Your honesty and your dedication. Okay, because if it's not a two-way communication, if only we are putting in efforts, then what will happen? Our DSA will become better, right? Our DSA will become better, our programming skills will become better. If you are not going to put in any efforts, you will stay wherever you were. You are not going to get upskilled. So just remember always, today, tomorrow, 6 months down the line, 1 year down the line, always remember one thing: you are only going to succeed in life from a career perspective. You are only going to succeed if you are having an upskilling mentality, right? If you are lazy, if you are looking for shortcuts, if you think that maybe I'll just join this, I'll just join that, and then magically I will end up with a job, then sorry to break it to you, but that's not how the world works, right? Ask any one of your seniors, any one of your friends who is doing any kind of a job. Just ask them what it takes to do the job, and all of them will say it takes a lot of preparation, and every day it takes a lot of hard work, right? To do any kind of job that they want to do, right? And this time we are talking about the IT industry, right? An industry which is known for the kind of problem solvers that it produces, right? So it is an industry which is more challenging than the other industries, right? It's not like other jobs where you just come, you just sit, you just do your job. It is something where every day your mind will be pushed to think something newer, to think something better, to build something better, right? So that is the kind of job it is. With the challenges, it also brings in its rewards. It's a high paying job, first thing. Second thing, it's a job that is available in abundance, right? So as compared to other sectors, right? Any other sector, right? Marketing, operations, or finance, all of these sectors, right? All of these are important segments. I'm not denying it. But as compared to these job roles, IT has comparatively a very large number of openings for freshers, right? So that is one advantage. Second thing is, it is going to give you a lot of money as compared to any other profession, right? So practically speaking, if you become a software developer, a good software developer, there are a lot of software developers, right? If you become a good software developer, I'm not even kidding, I'm not exaggerating the figures. Every 2 years, हर 2 साल में आप अपनी सैलरी डबल भी कर सकते हो. And I'm not making these figures up. Our students have done it, right? We have done it, our friends have done it, a lot of people in the vicinity have done it. And this kind of opportunity, this kind of growth is only possible in IT industry. This is an industry where there is no senior, there is no junior, right? Whoever has the most amount of knowledge, he is the person who will be valued the most. You will see that there are people who are 28 years old, 29 years old. They are CTOs of startups, right? CTOs, chief technical officer, right? Why is that happening? How is that even possible? How is it that people who are 30 years of age are leading a group of people who has an employee maybe who is 40 years old or 50 years old? How is it possible that we are having a 30-year-old leader? All of this is possible only in the IT industry, only in the field of IT. Why? Because this is one place where knowledge is more important than anything else, right? And how will you gain this knowledge? You will gain this knowledge by first taking the first step correctly. What is the first step? Right now, when you don't know anything, the first step is to start taking an idea of the things, how things are actually working, right? Then making sure that you are choosing a correct path for you, right? Making sure that you are choosing a correct path for you. So let's say joining AccioJob is choosing a correct path. But is that enough? No, that is not enough. What you also need to do is you need to choose a path and you need to start walking on that path, right? You need to start working on that path. You need to work hard on that path. You need to start working on that path, right? Then you are going to gain the skills that are required for cracking any kind of jobs, right? And if you join the course, if you actually, I'll walk you through the curriculum also in a bit, right? If you join the course, if you take your instructor seriously, if you take your mentor feedback seriously, if you are in direct contact with your batch managers throughout, like in a regular fashion, there is no company on the face of the earth that you cannot crack if you are following everything religiously, right? And I'm not exaggerating things. People before you have done it, people with you will do it, people after you will keep doing it, right? That is something that I can just give you in writing. Okay, so that is what AccioJob has done, that is what AccioJob will keep doing, right? And I would really love all of you to be a part of AccioJob. But there is no place for lazy people in our student community, right? If you're a lazy person, if you are just looking for a shortcut, if you are just looking for something ki okay, I don't have anything to do, let me just join this course, dekh lenge jo hoga. If you are having this attitude, AccioJob is not the place for you. AccioJob is only for people who want to work hard. You want guidance, we will give that. You want resources, we will provide that. You want video recordings, you want live lectures, you want live mentor discussion, you want chat support, you want anything. You want sessions with industry experts, we will give that. But what do we expect in return? We expect sincerity from you. If you can't give that one thing that we're expecting from you, bye. Okay, so that is one thing that I want all of you to understand really very well, right? That it's a serious affair, right? It's not something that you are doing for fun. It is a step that you are taking as an adult. So make sure you are following the whole course as an adult, राइट? आप बच्चे नहीं हो कि कोई छोटी दिक्कत आएगी तो रोने लगोगे, राइट? या फिर हर चीज में आपको मतलब सब सब कुछ खुद से फ्री में मिलेगा आके। अब आप बड़े बन गए हो, यू आर एडल्ट्स नाउ, यू विल हैव टू फाइट फॉर व्हाट यू वांट, राइट? इफ दैट इज द स्पिरिट दैट यू आर हैविंग with both arms open, you are welcome to AccioJob, right? If that is the spirit you are having, right? So acha, just a question to ask you guys, right? What do you think? So I'm telling you one figure and I'm going to ask you one question, right? So roughly 80 lakh to 90 lakh people graduate every year from colleges as freshers. Roughly this is the number of people who are graduating every year, right? This is the number of freshers that India is producing every year. Out of this, what do you think is the percentage of people, or is the number of people who are getting jobs? What is the percentage of people who are getting jobs? Or what is the number of people who are getting jobs? 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs, 40 lakhs, 50 lakhs. Or you can say how many job openings are there for freshers? Like applicants, I'm telling you, 80 to 90 lakhs people are graduating every year. Okay, you have a very realistic guess, SD4, very realistic number, and you're very close to the real number, right? In fact, you have just taken the fun away from it. I thought some of you will say a very big number and then I will bring it down, but you have given a very good number in the beginning only, right? So the correct answer, or the rough approximation from the internet only, I'm not producing these numbers on my own. मुझे भी नहीं पता, internet से देखा मैंने. The rough figure is 12, 10 to 15 lakh, or 12, 13 lakhs people are getting placed every year. And this number of graduates that I'm talking about, it also has people from big colleges, tier 1 colleges, so called dream colleges of people, right? It also has people from those colleges. So including them, this is the number. And out of everyone, roughly 12, 13 lakh people are getting 10 12, 13 lakh people are getting job, right? So if you just convert it to percentage, it is somewhere around 15%, right? So 15, 12 to 18%, that is the rough percentage of conversion, right? So you can understand what our college education is doing for us, right? If this is what the industry needs, I don't know where the college education stands, right? But this is what the industry needs. And if you are sitting here right now, first of all, it's time to stand up, right? It's time to take initiative for your future and for you to keep bridging this gap, right? With time, you will have the level of confidence and the level of knowledge that is required to get these kind of jobs, right? That is required to get these kind of jobs. And how will that happen? Again, answer to every question is time and efforts, right? That is what you will have to do, right? And if you join AccioJob anytime in the future, always remember, never ask the question, ki, sir, what is the minimum assignments that I can make? What is the minimum attendance that I can have? What is the minimum? What is the minimum of this? What is the minimum of that? Never have the habit of asking such questions, right? If you will ask such questions ki bhai, what is the minimum number of assignments I can make, what is the minimum number of classes I can attend, then during placements you are going to get the job which is going to pay you the minimum, right? But at the time of placement you would want the maximum only, but at the time of giving the efforts you will always be asking minimum, minimum, minimum. So just understand that everything works in a harmony, in a proper synchronous manner. So if you are giving in minimum efforts, never expect maximum output, right? And if you want the maximum output, be brave enough to put in the maximum efforts also, right? So that is, again, I think everything that I am saying is coming back to one point only, that is, be prepared to work hard. Okay, this is not something that is designed for kids, because kids don't deserve 10 to 15 lakhs per annum, right? And kids don't get it as well. This is for real men and women. This is for real adults, right? This course is for real people who are actually ready to work hard. If you're just ठीक है, if you're having this casual attitude, don't bother. मतलब अगर आधे एफर्ट से करना है तो फिर स्टार्ट ही क्यों करना है, राइट? दैट वुड बी माय ऑनेस्ट एडवाइस टू यू. इफ यू वांट टू जॉइन, इफ यू वांट टू स्टार्ट विद अ क्विटिंग एटीट्यूड, क्विट बिफोर हैंड ओनली. स्टार्ट ही मत करो, ठीक है? बट इफ यू वांट टू डू समथिंग बिग विद योर लाइफ, then be ready, be prepared with that mindset, and I will officially welcome you to AccioJob when the time comes, when you will actually join. Okay, so these are certain things that I wanted to tell you, right? Yeah, so let's talk about one interesting thing that most of you would be really eager to know about. So what are the essential pointers that the recruiters look for, right? So I have been through you can say tens of interviews myself, right? When I was preparing, when I was giving interviews, right? I told you, when I was giving interviews I was failing also, right? It's not like I got my job in the first go, right? So let me just share my learnings from that process, right? So when you actually when you actually go and sit for the interviews, and this is something that I have also received as a feedback from the recruiters who come and hire from AccioJob, right? So I'm just going to combine everything that I have experienced myself, that I have heard from the recruiters who come to hire from us, and that I've heard from the students that I personally consider successful, right? Students who are having complete correct knowledge base and are working in like very very good packages right now. So let me just share the learnings that everyone has shared with me. So first thing is, your basics should be very tight. Your basics should be very 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 strong. Okay, so generally you will hear people saying the opposite thing. People will always say, just focus on the difficult things, focus on the difficult things. That is what the bigger companies are going to ask. I am not denying that. Please go for that. But before going for that, always make sure that if you know something, you should know it to the complete extent, right? If you know this particular topic, you should know it in complete depth. Before moving on to the next topic, you should know what you are doing to the complete depth. You should always have the intention of understanding, right? When you will join my classes, and I hope you do, right, you will realize I always start with this approach. I always start with why. If I'm going to teach you anything, if you ever get in a class of mine, I'm always going to start the class with why. So we are going to study variables today, let's say. I will always tell you why we need variables. And why am I doing it? Why am I following this approach? Because I don't want to teach you anything that you don't think is important, right? I always want to teach you things that you can understand the importance of. If we are studying variables, this is the reason why we need variables. And if you understand what is the need of variables, you are always going to be eager and excited to understand what are variables. What are the different ways? What are the different ways that I can basically use my variables? What are the different type of variables I can make, right? So you will always be having an excitement and a spark to learn more if you understand why we are studying a particular concept, right? So that is one thing I will always tell you. Whatever you are studying, always be logically clear about it, right? Because solving 10 questions, solving 30 questions, solving 50 questions on a topic is not what is impressive for the interviewers. But if you are doing one thing and you are doing that one thing correctly, that is what impresses the interviewers, right? So if you know your basics and you know your basics right, interviewers are going to be blown away. And you can take my word for it, right? I'm not saying that we are not going to study advanced concepts. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is fundamentals are as important as your advanced concepts, right? So whenever we are going to start studying, I'm not only talking about the 4-day boot camp. I'm talking about the main course. When you are going to join the proper course, whenever we are going to start studying, always remember that whatever fundamentals you are building should be strong as a rock, solid as a rock, right? So when the time for the interviews will come, you will be able to showcase your knowledge base to the interviews, right? Because that is what is most important. Secondly, your ability to think. Now, this is one thing that everyone is looking for. And you know what separates you and me from all these artificial intelligence, all this AI, everything is what is separating us from all these tools. So right now there is also a debate, right? If AI is there, how are humans going to survive? So how are we going to retain our jobs if AI is going to start doing everything? AI can give you the results for what you are looking for. AI can even think one level extra for you guys. And AI, I'm not denying its power and the magic that it can bring forward. But as long as humans have this asset, as long as humans have their creativity, their brain, their ability to think outside of the box, AI and all these other tools are never going to make us go out of our jobs, right? If AI is coming, we will always be thinking towards integrating that AI into our product, right? That will be the mindset that successful people are going to have, right? And every other person is going to get scared away from AI, right? So, long story short, what I want you to understand is if you have solved one question in your preparation and the interviewer is asking you that question, all of you can do it, all of you can do it. But if your fundamentals will be strong and your thinking skills will be strong, you will be able to go beyond that as well, right? So let's say you learn how to build a let's say you learn how to build a text editor. A simple example I'm taking, right? And I ask you, how is that text editor working, right? There are going to be different components of a text editor, right? Text editor kya hota hai? Notepad, doc, all these tools that we are using, these are text editors. So let's say you make one of your own as a project, right? So these projects are also a very important part of a very important part of the selection process, right? So let's say you're building one project. Interviewer is always just take a note of this and you will realize when you will sit for actual interviews, interviewer is always going to ask you this one question about your project: what is the future scope of development in this project? So he will say, okay, you have made this project, it's fine, I've seen your project, it's good, you have done a good job, keep it aside. What more can you do with this project? So he will first ask you what are the extra features that you can add to your project. Then he is going to ask you how can you add these extra features. If you actually understand how you have built the project, you will be able to answer such questions. If you have just copy pasted the code from the internet or from any other source or maybe from your friend only, you will not be able to answer such questions. So what is the takeaway from the second point in discussion? Projects and all the other aspects of your resume are very important, right? Projects and other aspects of your resume, your skills, your everything is very important. But if you have not actually understood what you have done, and if you have not given your thought behind it, if you are not able to think about what you have done, then it's of no use. Because your resume is just a piece of paper. It might get you an interview, but if you are not having as much knowledge as it is projected on your resume, you are going to be rejected with the same speed that you were selected for the interview, right? So these are certain things. What am I saying? Your fundamentals should be very strong. Then extending this point further, what is the second point? You should always have a thinking capability. If I throw a new problem at you, you should not go blank कि जो प्रॉब्लम मुझे सर ने करवाई थी ये तो मेरे को आ गई, बट नाउ इफ आई एम हैविंग अ न्यू प्रॉब्लम my mind will just go blank, right? You should be able to think about the problems. You should be able to think on your own, right? And this is something which will be developed over time, right? So when you will be joining the course, you will realize when we start at the basic level. We start with, this is literally what we start with. What is a computer? This is what I start my first class with, right? And then going forward, I tell you what is a computer program, why do we need a computer program, what are the different programming languages, why do we need programming languages, what is a compiler, and all that stuff. That is what the first class is all about, right? I don't even talk about Java and coding in the first class. I start with what is a computer, and I can't think of any level below that, so that's where I start from. Okay, but the point is, this is where the course starts from. And from this level, you will be able to reach a level where you will be given a graph question, a dynamic programming question, or maybe a backtracking question, and you will be able to think about it within 10 minutes. I'm talking about thinking right now. Okay, so coding is the easier part. Once you are able to think of a solution, you can code it, anyone can code it. But the important part is to think about the solution, is to come up with the solution, and that is only going to happen if you have a functional working brain. Otherwise, not possible, right? So these are the two things that recruiters are looking for. Obviously, strong fundamentals, right? And second thing is your ability to think on your own, right? Because software development is a job where every day your creativity is challenged, every day your ability to think is checked, right? So that is why recruiters are looking for these things. And then obviously required tech stack, required practice, right? So for DSA, practice is the main tool. For web development, for app development, your tech stack, whatever tech stack you are working on, experience on that tech stack, projects on that tech stack, these are important, right? So to summarize, strong fundamentals, ability to think, and the third point is good quality projects, right? Projects that you have built on your own. You can take help from the internet. I'm not denying that. It is the correct time to take help from the internet, right? So it's completely fine if you're taking help from the internet, because even as software developers in my day-to-day job also, I use internet every day. So it's fine if you're using the internet for building a project. But even after using the internet, you should be able to understand what you have done in the project, right? So, sir, projects can be considered as work experience to recruiters. Sahil, no. Projects are projects only, right? Projects show your personal interest. It shows your personal development, but it is not counted as work experience, right? So it is going to impress the interviewer, but only to show that what you have learned. Okay, it is not going to count as work experience, right? So clean speech seems so much interested, and I love. Are, thank you, Anamalai. Thank you. Okay, so these are certain aspects that I just wanted you to go through. Okay, I am here just to welcome you to AccioJob, guys. Relax. I am not going to teach you, right? So tonight your instructor is going to be Vashishta, right? He is a very talented friend of mine, and he will be taking these 4 days. He will be spending these 4 days with you. He will be walking you through the different aspects, different stages of coding, right? He will also start with telling you. He will also start with something as basic as what is a computer, right? He will also start teaching you from there. So he will be your instructor for the next 4 days. I am here just to show you the reality, just to prepare you for the next 4 days and for the course if you join the course later, right? And just to welcome you to the boot camp, right? That's what I'm here for, right? And then just one more thing I want to show you, and then I'm going to hand over the stage to Avi. Okay, so I'm just going to share one thing with you. Okay, just a second. Right, I hope you can see my screen now. So actually, this is what I wanted you to, wanted to show you, right? So this is the actual the like famous program that that AccioJob is famous for. This is the main course offering that we have. So it's the full stack development plus DSA placement track, right? So I just wanted to show you the different like the different routes that are possible in this course, right? So you have the beginner course and the intermediate course. So in my discussion, in my time with you, I kept on talking about the importance of thinking, right? The importance of your ability to think, right? So your ability to think can be mastered and developed with the help of aptitude, right? With the help of mental ability exercises, right? So aptitude, basic logical reasoning, plus very basics of coding. This is going to be taught when you join the beginner track. So if you join the beginner track, that means that you have absolutely no idea of aptitude, of coding, or anything. You are a complete fresher to the world of coding, and you now have realized that this is something I need to do to get my life on track. So this is the course for you, the beginner course, where the first 2 to 3 months are dedicated to show you the aspects of aptitude, to show you and teach you the different aspects of coding, right? And everything like that. So that is what the first 2 3 months of this course is designed for, to bring you, to welcome you to the world of coding at your own pace and in a very relaxed and small step by step manner. But if you admit that you already are familiar with the basic aspects of coding and you're already familiar with the idea of aptitude, then you have the intermediate course where you will just have 1 month to brush up on your basics and basic, or you can say small and fundamental coding topics. You will have 1 month for that, and then we will dive into full-fledged DSA preparation, right? So this is the difference between the two tracks. Beginner initially is slow paced, right? Initially it is slow paced, just so all of you can take your time, build your basics, and then dive into the main DSA track, right? So one more important hidden feature I will tell you about the beginner course. So when you are a beginner, you think that coding is something that you would like, you think that coding will change your life, but you don't exactly know what's going to happen. Beginner course gives you the opportunity to spend some time with DSA, to spend some time with the programming basics, and then if you really enjoy coding for those 2 3 months, then you can take a call that DSA is what I want to do. If you don't really enjoy it and you want to explore something else, you can then go forward into different tracks that you have. One of the possibilities that you can do is, for example, you can choose to go to front end track. You can just tell your respective batch manager, sir, I don't want to do this further, I want to move to this track, and then you can just go there, right? So beginner is basically a very special opportunity, I would say. In intermediate, the course is very fast paced, right? In beginner track, for the first 2 3 months, the course is going to be slow paced. It's going to give you the opportunity to spend time with coding, right? To understand where you stand, to understand how you can develop in the 3 months, in the 2 months, and then take a call for your future accordingly कि अब आगे क्या करना है, डीएसए और पढ़ना है डेप्थ में, राइट? या फिर कोई और ट्रैक चूज करना है, फ्रंट एंड, फुल स्टैक डेवलपमेंट, कुछ भी, राइट? So this is how the course is designed, and going forward we will keep meeting. I will keep telling you the different aspects of curriculum, and not only that, right? So even after this, if you want to like connect with me, if you want to, if you want me to address your specific doubts, so I'm going to like just take your leave in 1 or 2 minutes. But if you still have any queries related to the course, related to your career, related to anything else in the IT domain, right? Not anything else. So you can just basically you can reach out to me on LinkedIn also, right? We can connect there. I can tell you what I think you should do, right? But then again, the choice will always be up to you. So okay. So this course, yes, this bootcamp is absolutely 100% free, right? This bootcamp that we are having for the next 4 days is absolutely free. After that, if you want to pursue anything else in future with with AccioJob, then you can talk about the details of the course later on. But right now, don't worry about it, right? Focus only on learning for the next 4 days, right? उसके बाद depending on wherever you want to go, whichever track you want to choose, you can just you can just basically, like, this is our website, right? AccioJob.com. So you can just come here, you can explore it, you can choose which course suits the best to you. And what I would suggest you to do personally is, you can just, at the end you will see this contact us option, right? So you can contact at this number to get any of your queries resolved. You can just request a call back from here. So anything that you want to do, if you want to know more about AccioJob, if you want to know more about opportunities that AccioJob can bring in, you can just go through this one, right? You can just request a call back, clear out every query or every doubt that you have, right? So this is what I this is what all you can do, right? So anyways, that's all I wanted to share with you guys. And again, I will just leave you with one note: be very positive, be very enthusiastic throughout the whole bootcamp, as you might be today. Right? Language that we are going to follow for the course is going to be Java. Right? Language is going to be Java. Right? Okay. If we have not done any internships, so from projects, can we crack placements? Sahil, definitely. Yes, you can. And obviously, not only from projects, from a combination of your DSA, your technical skills, and your projects, but projects are going to be a very good add on to your resume, right? So, projects, yes, you can crack placements through projects, right? Okay. Certificate, I think our team will be able to respond to it better, right? You want to be a UI UX designer. That's really interesting, right? Okay. So if you have any more comments, any more questions that you would want to ask, please feel free to leave out in the comments below, right? And we can just keep answering it going forward, right? And now I would really love to welcome Avi for all of you guys, right? And I really wish you a great time with him, right? And I hope you enjoy the session. Okay. So Avi, are you? So I'm not sharing the screen currently. Don't worry. Avi, are you here? So Ankit, I get that you want to be a data analyst. So what you can do is you can just go to our website and you can just like request for a call back. You can get your doubts clarified. You can just ask them whatever you want to know, right? And you can just go ahead with that approach. Sai, I understand what some people are saying about AI and IT industry, but nothing happens in one day, right? Nothing happens in one day. That's first point. And the second point is good software engineers are irreplaceable, right? There will always be a need for people who are running this AI, right? So AI is very good, is very powerful. I am not denying that at all. But the point is industry will always fall short of good software developers. Industry will always need good software developers, no matter how much AI development or whatever happens, right? So don't worry about all of that at all, right? Hello Abhi, hello.
Hello.
Right? How
Yeah.
much can we learn in these
Hello,
4 days?
Bhavya.
So this is something your Abhi sir is going to answer now. Okay.
All right. So, am I audible firstly? Is everything okay?
Yes, definitely. Anamalai, we have a
All right. All right.
UI UX designer ourselves, right? Everyone needs one. Every job is going to be relevant as long as you are good at it, right? Avi, bro, can you say something?
Yeah. Hello. Can you guys hear me? Am I audible, guys?
Yes.
Yes. All right. All good. So,
Okay,
okay. Great. Perfect. So, I think I will carry on now. So, thank you, Bhavya,
okay,
for this amazing session.
cool.
And I'll take over
You.
from here.
Thank you, guys.
All right. So, okay. So, firstly, hello everyone, and I'm Avi Vashishta. I'm an instructor at AccioJob. So, how is everyone doing? Of course, you guys had an amazing session with Bhavya right now. I was listening to the entire thing. I myself got to learn a lot. So, definitely, right? So I think you guys discussed a lot. You guys started off with, you basically talked a lot about your career and what all things that you guys can do and how we at Job are going to help you guys, right? And I know everyone has been really, talking about this thing only. So just to lighten the mood a little bit, first tell me how many of you guys are having dinner right now? Let's just be honest. I myself was having dinner while Bhabya was speaking. So, we can be honest, guys, right? And I would really appreciate if you guys would tell me what nice, exciting things you guys are eating. So, again, that would be more than welcome, right? So just to lighten the mood for 2-3 minutes, and then we'll continue with the masterclass. Right. So Shriram says how to add a percent on top of each bar in a bar graph using. Okay, Shriram, we shall help you regarding this out sometime later. This is just a simple, DSA session. No, not yet. Not done. All right. So okay, a lot of you guys haven't. That's fine. So don't worry. I'll keep this session as interesting as I can, and after that, you guys can go enjoy your dinner. Right. So I will be leaving you guys in about 50 minutes, 1 hour. Right. And by 10 p.m. we'll end this, and then you guys can continue. Right. Okay. So first things first, let me also introduce myself. So hi, I'm Vashishta, and like I said, I'm an instructor at AccioJob. I have been an instructor for the last, I think, 9-10 months now. So you guys are in good hands. Don't worry, right? We at AccioJob on this YouTube channel only. This is not the first time we are doing this boot camp, right? There are a lot of boot camps that we did. In fact, I think just 15 days ago we did this. I did this another boot camp, right, where we built ChatGPT's UI from scratch. So that is a totally different side, right? That is what we call as front-end development. And this bootcamp is going to be about your main coding, right? I don't want to really start throwing big terms at you guys. So we'll be starting right from scratch, so don't worry. And like Bhavya said as well, we'll be starting from the basics, and I'll be telling you each and every as to why are we doing this, why are we doing that. So do not worry about it. I'll be conveying each and everything to you guys, right? And I think somebody had mentioned in the chat that they want to become a data analyst, right? Let me just scroll up. So Ankit, are you here? Right? Are you still here with us, Ankit? Agreed, Sanjeeva. Thank you so much. All right. So, Ankit, I think 10 minutes or 5 minutes ago, Ankit mentioned that he wants to be a data analyst, right? So, we at AccioJob, we also have this data analyst course. So, Ankit, you can feel free to, quickly have a look at that course, right? It's available on our website, acciojob.com, and you can definitely get started with that, right? Yes, so we should have the chat section excited, and everyone is excited, right? So, all right. So, if the introduction is done, is everyone ready to start learning finally, right? Shall we begin with our class and what all things we are going to do today? Correct? So, everyone just leave an excited in the chat, so maybe a +1 and excited, whatever, and then we'll get started. I just want to see we have 70 people watching. So, out of 70, how many people are really ready to get started? And how many of you guys are actually paying attention to? That is also very important. Right. Tamesh says yes, sir. Ankit says okay, sir. Nathan says hello. Hello, Nathan. So one thing that I will say is I'll constantly be looking at the chats, right? So please keep them active. Any doubts at any point in time, do let me know. And Ankit says yes. Aniket says yes. Right. PB Harish says yes. Sai Kumar says yes. Motorola, Pavan Kumar, Ankit Gupta. All right. A lot of you guys are 100% ready, as Evan says. And so let's begin. Okay. So I think there should be a Notion sheet that has been shared with you guys. If not, I'll be sharing it again in the chats. All right. And let me just share my screen as well before we get started. So is my screen visible? Can we display my screen? I think so. My screen should be visible. All right. No, it isn't. Now it should be, right? I think now my screen is being shared. Perfect. Great. All right, awesome. So Ankit says yes, Nathan says yes. Cool. All right. So since you guys can see my screen, so we will be sharing this Notion with you again if you guys haven't received it. So do not worry about it. Evans, I think now you should be able to see my screen, right? I can see it myself. So don't worry. Now my screen is being shared. And this is the notes, all of the notes that I'll be teaching you guys. I'll be making sure I put them over here. So any links, any notes, any referring, to maybe if I'm referring to some article on the internet or some YouTube video or whatever, I will be linking everything over here. So if you have this sheet, you will have everything related to this bootcamp, right? So this will be a 4-day bootcamp. Let me just remind again. So today is the first day. We'll be having another session tomorrow. Tomorrow, you guys will also have your resume session in the first half of the class, and the second of the class will have the day two, right? Then we'll have day three and day four. So 4 days, and in the next 4 days, you're going to learn a whole lot, right? We're going to start from the scratch. We're going to start from the basics of computers. That is the first topic that we're going to cover today. And after that, we're going to talk about introduction to programming. And if time permits, we're going to also talk about Java, right? So, but first things first, we want to discuss what you guys are going to be learning in the next 4 days, right? So, this is just a master class to get you started on programming. Now, the field of programming is actually very, very huge, right? In fact, every year there are new programming languages, there are new programming tech stacks. People are doing, some people are making Web 2 applications. There is React, Next.js. Some people start building Web 3 applications, right? There was a Web3 bubble that was recently there, I think 2 years back. Everyone was talking about just cryptocurrencies and every decentralization and all of those things, right? And then obviously there's the other side, there's the other flip side of programming, which is all about data analytics is another field, right? There's DSA as another field. There's problem solving. There's algorithms, right? You might have heard these fancy terms: Instagram algorithm, YouTube algorithm, right? Then there are these big algorithms, and there are these companies who collect data, who maybe work around with that data. There is a whole lot of things to talk about in programming, and all of them, like, no matter how many fields come, right? All of them are actually what we call as programming at the end of the day, right? So we'll be talking about what exactly is this word programming, and what does this one word programming mean, and how can one little word, open up so many doors for you guys, right? Right now, Ankit said that he wants to become a data analyst, right? I personally, I am a web developer, right? There might be 50% of you guys, or 20% or 10%, right? People of you guys who want to do something else. There'll be people who want to go into app development or web development or backend, full stack, right? Data analytics, then again DSA, algorithms, right? And all of these things at the end of the day, they boil down to one thing, right? Programming. So we're going to start from the scratch, and programming will not make sense without first understanding what is the need for programming and why, right? Like Bhavya really emphasized on that why, and that why is actually very, very important, right? As to why are we doing all of this. So firstly, I want to talk about computers, right? So Govind has a question. So Govind, please feel free to type your question directly. You don't need to ask for any permission. Feel free to write any question that you guys want to, and I will answer them, right? Or I will try to answer them, obviously, if it's related to the IT field. All right. So let's start today's session, right? And okay, we're going to start with the basics of computers. So firstly, before you guys ask me questions, I want to ask you guys questions, right? Has or does everyone know what a computer is, right? Does everyone know what a computer is? And I want a good answer, of what a computer is, right? You guys can think of this as that scene from Three Idiots where the professor asks, "What is a machine?" So, what is a computer, right? And I will be happy with the most creative answers. Everybody knows, right? So, Timesh says, "I want to go into software development." Good job, Timesh. I hope we at AccioJob are able to help you secure a job in software development, right? So, yes, what is a computer? What do you mean by a computer? Aniket says, what's the difference between backend and full stack? Aniket, backend is the okay. Front end is whatever you see on the screen, and backend is what happens behind the screen, right? So front end is the buttons, the background color, the images, and the fact that you can upload images, you can upload a caption on Instagram, you can watch somebody else's story. That all logic is taken care of by backend. Anyways, let's come to my question, guys. What is a computer? And I want the most simplest and nicest, cleanest answers. Please do not, just Google what is a computer and just tell me that, right? A computer is an electronic device for storing and processing data, typically in binary form, according to instructions given to it in a variable program, right? So, anyways, the definitions on the internet they can vary, right? A computer is a machine that can be programmed to carry out sequences of arithmetic or logical operations automatically. Modern digital electronic computers can perform generic sets of operations known as programs, right? All right. So Sai Kumar says that, all right, we have two, three answers. Let's go through them. So PB Harish says it's an electronic device which performs a particular task. Good job, Harish. Then Anamalai says It's a machine that breaks the barrier of the human potential. Oh, wow. A very interesting definition. Sai says computer is an electronic device which performs complex tasks. Absolutely correct. New Journey says the computer is an electronic device that processes input data and provides an output result. Very good. Nikhil says computer is a dumb machine. Nikhil, I will actually get back to this definition, and that is actually, as I can understand that a lot of you guys might be thinking that what has Nikhil just written on the chats, but Nikhil, something that I'll say is good job, and I will come back to you, right? Karthik says, which is paying. Okay, what is the highly paying role in the upcoming generation? Karthik, any job will be high paying if you're good at it, right? It doesn't matter if it's an IT or if it's even barbers make tens and thousands of lakhs, right? If you become the barber of Shah Rukh Khan, then you will make a lot of money. Just be the best at what you do, and you will make money, right? Evan says yes, a computer is a machine that takes data and processes them. Agreed. All right. So, what is a computer? I feel everybody understands, but there are two, three people who have given a very good definition that I feel is amazing, right? Specifically, I want to point out to, I forgot your name, I think Nikhil. So, Nikhil and Rahul, right? Both Nikhil and Rahul have given a very, very good definition. A very simple definition: input, process, output. Rahul says, give it an input, it processes something, and then it gives you an output, right? All right. So one thing that made me wonder was its abbreviation. I doubt that is the exact abbreviation, but I hope so. Maybe it is. I'll have to do my research on this. But all right. So guys, a computer is nothing but it is just a machine, right? And what that machine does is it takes some input from the user being me, you, right? Nikhil, Rahul, Karthik, you guys being the input users, right? Then when you give it an input, what is an input, right? In school, we learned there are five types of inputs. I think there might be more now, but usually there were, I think, five. So mouse, keyboard, touch, right? And there were a few more, right? There are a few ways by which you can give input, right? Speech, correct? You guys can also speak to your computers nowadays. There are a lot of ways you can give input to the computer. But the main point is you give some input, right? Input can be anything, like Roja says, input can be some data. So you give it some data, it does something with that data, right? And then it gives you an output. Now, this task can be as simple as moving my mouse on the screen, right? I'm moving my mouse. Guys, can you see my mouse is continuously circling round and round? Right? I'm just simply or maybe I'm selecting this. I selected this thing, right? Or maybe I'm clicking on this thing. I'm dragging this. Maybe I clicked on this thing and then there's something happening on the screen. So something that I would like to say is whatever you see on your screen as of right now, and be it any screen, be it the screen of your television if you're watching this on a TV, on your laptop, on your mobile, right? Be it any kind of screen that you are seeing, right? All of it is just simple programs, right? All of it is programs. And the fact that I can move my mouse, the fact that I can, speak right now and you guys can listen to my speech, the fact that you guys can type something quickly, click on that button and then I can read it, right? Everything. The fact that your screen is, the fact that this part of my screen is blue, this part of my screen is black, this part is black, right? This thing is yellow, this emoji is looking like this text is looking like this. Everything on the screen that you see has been programmed. Nothing on your laptop is magic. Nothing is, nothing is magic. All of this is human made. People like you and I, everyone around us, like it's just us that have created this machine, right? So first thing that I would like to tell you guys is the fact that this is the first mentality change that I would want you guys to, have. This is the first mentality thing that I would want to change in you guys. Since you guys have started this path on becoming programmers, anything and everything in your laptop can be programmed by you, right? Be it the operating system, be it, anything you want, be it YouTube, be it Google Chrome, be it Instagram, Facebook. Everybody knows Mark Zuckerberg, that man single-handedly, right? He built one of the first iterations of Facebook, obviously, and look at where Facebook is today, right? So anything that you see on the screen can be built by you. That is the first thing that I want you to understand. Obviously, it is going to be very, very tough. I'm not going to say it's going to be easy. I'm not going to say it will be happen in just a day. It's going to take time, but you guys can do. Right? The maid says it's coding work. Right? The only thing that I expect from you guys is practice. And how will you practice? By coding yourself. Right? Today there will not be any coding that we'll be doing anyways. Today is just an introductory session. Right? From tomorrow when we start coding, today I might give you some intro to coding. Don't worry, as time permits. But my main point was the fact that you guys need to practice whatever is being taught in this class, in this master class, or in the future modules that you join at AccioJob. Right? All right. So we talked about what is a computer. Right? Now, a lot of you guys said that, we give some input, it processes it, and it does some output. Now, my question to you guys is, you know, can a computer, can this laptop, a machine, automatically know what I'm saying? Right? I mean, nowadays, because of AI, you guys will answer that yes. But back when, 10 years ago or 15 years ago, when nobody even knew this concept of AI, the answer for this question would have been no. Right? By default, a computer does not know what to do. Right? When the first computer was built, right? When the first computer was built, it did not even have a proper UI. All it had was things like this, right? This is not the first computer, by the way, but back in the day, computers used to look like this, right? Um, in fact, let me just find. I will try to find that picture, and I will add that picture to you guys. So at the end of the day, my point was, a computer is nothing but it is actually just a blank screen, right? Nikhil said that computers is just a dumb machine, and it is very very true, right? At the end of the day, a computer nowadays, they might look very very amazing, and they might look very very, what do you say, they might look very very exciting, and they might look very very smart. But back when it all started, it was just a screen, a keyboard, and a big block of, just a big chunk that was there next to it. And that big block is what we call as a CPU, right? Nowadays I don't think so even all of the computers nowadays are all in ones. But I hope everybody remembers what CPUs are and were, right? Just good big blocks of this thing, right? And that is what we used to call the brain of a computer, right? Why is that called the brain of a computer? It's because that is capable of understanding what the user is saying, and that is capable of transforming, processing it, and then giving the user a desired output, right? All right. So now my question to you guys is, can by default a computer do that? No, right? When the first computer was built, did that computer know, or that, maybe one day YouTube will exist, one day, Timesh Buddha is going to text something, so I need to be smart enough to take Timesh's text and then send it to her, right? No, right? It is, all of these things are things that have eventually developed. My main point was the fact that it is this word program which allows us to do all of these amazing things, right? A computer by default cannot do much. It is the programs that we write in it which give it the power to do a lot of tasks, right? Even your AI, what is an AI, right? We say that AIs can have a brain of their own, AIs can, take over the world. But at the end of the day, AI is also a program, right? Everything on the screen, this is the second point. Everything on the screen that you see is a program. When I say it has been written and built by a person, I mean they have written a program. Somebody has written a program for YouTube. Somebody has written a program for Google Chrome. Somebody has written a program for other programs to run, right? And so if you think about it, somebody has written all of these things, correct? And all of these things are what we call as programs, and all of the programs are nothing but they're just a bunch of functions, they're just a bunch of, it's just a piece of code, right? That is there, that has been given the task that, okay, you are going to take care of this, you're going to take care of this, and that is it. Am I making sense, guys? Are you guys along with me? Are you guys still along with me, or have you guys lost track? So let me just quickly revise. We talked about what is a computer, and now we're going to talk about what is a program, right? So a program at the end of the day is nothing but it is just a block of code, right? Which is responsible for the fact for any job that has been given to it, right? I could write a program for Facebook. I could write a program for Instagram. I could write a program for YouTube, right? I could write a program for ChatGPT, right? Maybe I'm the creator of ChatGPT, and I've written a program that is creating other programs, right? So at the end of the day, a program, if I talk in very very simple terms, right? Remember when I again forgot your name. Somebody had said input become, okay, Rahul. Remember when Rahul had said input, then process, then output? So the processing what is it processing? Whatever is the program telling it to process, right? So the fact that computers can take certain input, process it, and then give it back to the user is all done via a program. There will be a program for my voice, right? The fact that I can speak right now, my computer, there's a program running which is listening to that voice, right? It is then sending that voice to YouTube. Then YouTube is again outputting that particular voice on your screens, right? So it is a single, not a single program. There are a lot of programs, but at the end of the day, it is a program which is taking care of that, right? The fact that I can move my mouse, as you guys can see, that is a program. I'm moving my finger on my trackpad. That is the input. It takes the input, right? The input is some data. We don't even know what data. It is some data, right? There is a program which understands that data. It says that okay, if the user is taking his finger from the bottom left of the trackpad to the right of the trackpad, my mouse should also move in that direction, right? If I move my finger directly, diagonally, it will go diagonally. So there is a program which understands that input, and then it says that okay, I will process this data, and then I will show the output to the user. I will show the fact that however his finger is moving, the mouse will also move, right? And that is what is the main goal of this program. So every program that you write, right, any program that you write will have an objective. That is a very, very important thing. At the end of the day, every program ever written by mankind has always had an objective, has always had a problem statement that it is targeting, right? What was the goal of building Facebook? To connect people across the world, right? What was the goal of what is the goal of AccioJob, right? To allow you guys to get placed in technical jobs, right? So everything starts with a problem statement, and every program will also always have a problem statement, right? So are these 2 points clear? What is a computer and what is a program? Right? Did I confuse you guys or did I make sense? Do let me know. What do you guys think? Am I making sense? All right. So a lot of you guys are saying yes. So thank you so much. So now what we're going to do is we're going to talk about why do we need these two things, right? Like I said, whys are very, very important. Like Bhavya also said, why is very, very important, right? So why do we need both of these things? So we need these both. It's a very, very simple answer, to be honest, right? If you want to build anything on this computer, you will need to write programs for it, right? The why really talks about the fact that anything that you want you can do on this computer, be it a simple calculation, be it a simple mathematical calculation, be it, people are using computers nowadays to write, students are using it to do solve assignments, right? Me and you are using it to learn, I'm using it to teach, you are using it to learn, right? As you keep on growing, the complexity of using the computer also grows, right? People are making movies on it, people are making games on it, people are playing games on it, people are watching movies on it, right? Then if there's a whole, everybody knows, right? The fact that nowadays you can send an entire rocket to space with just a click of a button on this keyboard is insane, right? That is the power that it gives to you. The fact that you can write a program to basically build anything, like I said, right? And Facebook, Instagram, all of the big companies, right? Our entire day revolves around these big companies. All of these are nothing but they are just programs, right? And at the end of the day, it is all of our entire life soon about to be. It is already surrounded by programs, right? Even I have to switch on and off my AC. I'll be clicking on this button. This screen also has a little UI, right? This is probably been coded as well. I don't know if you guys can see it. Even my AC remote, my mobile phone, everything around us, right? The screen, the second screen that I have, right? Everything. So Ibrahimi says, okay, this topic seems to be discussed too much. I agree. And anyways, so what is the computer done? What is the program done? Why do we need these two things? To obviously build whatever we want to. We can communicate with the computer using a program, right? Now, what is a program also talks about the fact that how do you make programs? Now I understood what is a program. We all know why do we need programs, but how do I make one? Right? If I just told you guys that you guys can build anything, right? So how will you guys build a program? Now, to build a program, you need to first understand how to talk to the computer, right? You first need to understand to tell the computer that this is the input that you'll be getting. I want you to process this data and then give me something. So you need to tell the computer each and everything. Like Nikhil said, computers are really, really dumb. You need to tell a computer each and everything, right? So, okay. So that gives us to the point of what is programming, and obviously, so what? How do you build a program using programming? Very, very one line answer, right? But what is programming itself? Correct. So, what do you guys think programming is? Obviously, I have written the answer over here, but I want you guys to tell me what do you think programming is according to you, right? And Ibrahimi, this is a live session. This is a masterclass for everyone. So there are students who this is the first time they're dealing with these concepts. So we need to take everyone together, right? We need to keep the entire class together. Uh, Anyways, this is just the introduction class. So right, everyone, what do you guys think programming is? What is programming to you? Any answers? So, okay, like I said, programming is nothing but it is okay. Over here, we have the definition. Programming is the process of creating a set of instructions that tell a computer how to perform a task. Everything you see on your digital devices, from the operating system to the apps, games, are made with programming. So, programming language is a general purpose language. Sorry, Karthik, I didn't. Program is a set of instructions. Yes. All right. So exactly, Talari. So programming is just this entire process of giving instructions or creating instructions for the computer, right? Shubham says precise instructions. Very, very good, Shubham. These instructions will be very precise and accurate, right? Abrami says it's a block of code that works for our favor. Exactly. Nikhil says a set of code to perform a specific task. Exactly. Rahul says set of instructions. Good job. So everybody knows what programming is. We talked about why should we learn programming. So okay, something that I want to talk about is people say that programming is not that important or DSA is not that important, right? There are so many fields that you guys will, some of you want to go into data analytics. Me personally, I'm in web development. Somebody would want to go into app development. Somebody would want to go into game development, right? Somebody might want to go in some other field. Somebody might want to build AIs, right? So at the end of the day, there are so many fields, but something that I will tell you is the main concept of programming remains the same across anything that you will be doing, right? You will always be building functions to do something. You will always be writing some code. You will always be given a task that you will be completing via code, right? And that is the entire concept of programming. The fact that you have a problem statement, and when that problem statement is given, you guys are able to solve it, right? So this entire problem solving will never go out of fashion, right? It started from the back in the day when humans had just started evolving. When we created fire, when we created wheel, it started all the way there. We had a problem, we solved it with the tools that we had, right? uh, Cavemen, they created wheels through rocks, right? Or they created fire because the problem was that obviously they had to cook food for a living, they had to survive, right? So whatever tools and technologies are given to humans, right, and whatever problems they have, humans find a way to solve those problems using the tools and technologies that they have, right? And in today's world, you guys have AI to solve that. So AI is not going to target your jobs, rather it is a tool, right? You guys need to use it as a tool to upskill yourself, to build programs, take its help, learn from it, and definitely keep on practicing on it, right? Anyways, so this entire problem solving program, programming is just problem solving, and this entire passion of problem solving is never going to go out of it's a timeless thing, right? Obviously, you guys will have career opportunities, but we talked about that. You guys can make your own products, websites, apps, games, whatever you want to. You guys can build all of those things, right? So the why we want to learn programming is also something that we have talked a lot about. So again, I will not bore you. And now we can directly get started with what we'll be doing. And we'll be starting with Java, as Bhavya said. So what is Java? Why do we need Java? Advantages of Java, disadvantages of Java. Everything has its pros and cons. We'll just start with the programming part, right? So how many of you guys are happy with the introduction and say that we can move ahead, right? How many of you guys say, or do you guys have any doubts? Anyone? Uh, Virigani Monica is still talking program equals input and output. Definitely. It does not equal input and output, but it takes from the input and gives to the output. Right. So how many of you guys are ready to move forward and learn about Java and why are we doing all of this Java and why coding and all of those things? Right. Rahul says, so go ahead, satisfied so till now. Thank you, Abhirami. And what about the others? All right. Okay, cool. So let's talk about basics of Java. And before we talk about Java, already, okay. So one thing that I want to talk to you guys is also about what are programming languages and why do we need programming languages. So we talked about what are programs, what is programming. Now, how do you start with programming, right? How do you communicate how to communicate with the computer? Now, something that Nikhil mentioned was that computers are dumb, right? If I'm speaking English, the computer does not really understand that, right? And nowadays, the issue is that you guys might see that computers do understand English because I can activate Siri. You guys can say, "Okay, Google." Right? There are a lot of other voice assistants that are there which understand our language, right? But when we say that computers don't understand English, we mean a computer at the very basic level, right, does not understand that. So Sandeep says, "Am I the only one who's facing the pausing problem?" So are you guys facing any problems, guys? Anyone who is with Sandeep who's facing any kind of problems? Is there anything, or can we go? Is everything good to go? Guys, we'll have to keep the chats active. Otherwise, I think everyone will start getting bored. Let's keep the chats active. Naga says no problem. Karthik says no problem. All right. So let's continue. All right. So Sandeep, it's something with your network. I'm really sorry. Maybe refresh and join again. All right. And okay. So something that you need to understand is that how will you create your own programs, right? So we talked about the what, the why, now the how, right? How will you create your own programs? Using programming languages. And the reason for using programming languages and not language like Hindi, English is because computers don't understand Hindi and English right off the box. You need to tell them in a language that they can understand, right? And honestly speaking, the language that they understand is what we call as a low level language, and that is something that we call as binary, right? So, something that you might have seen is this thing, right? Have you guys seen these cool hacker movies where this is the animation that they show? Just zeros and ones and zeros and ones, something like this. Have you ever noticed this, right? In movies, whenever they show that, someone is hacking something or some tech scene is happening, they just show this background with zeros and ones and very, very cool animation happening. And usually it is also this green and black screen, but right. So, what do you guys think this is? What do you guys think this zeros and ones? Do these have a meaning or they just happen to be zeros and ones? Maybe somebody might put two, three, four tomorrow. Right? Abhirami says we have noticed this. Harish says ethical hacking. Yes, Harish. But right. So what do these zeros and ones means? Actually, the computer just understands zeros and ones, right? Everything in a computer is just zeros and ones. Even by the way, even something that I would like to fascinate you guys is, even if you store something in a pen drive, I cannot find my pen drive right now, but when you store something in your pen drive, even the pen drive stores it as zeros and ones. Right? Isn't that fascinating? So the computer just understands zeros and ones. And what is a zero and one? Zero means the absence of everything, and one means zero means false. One means true. Zero can mean no value. One means some value. Right? And this is what we call as a level language or binary code. Exactly. Just using zeros and ones is what we call as binary. Right? So whatever I'm writing, the computer doesn't. When I write the letter P, or when I write the letter or the letters AccioJob, right? The computer does not see this as an AccioJob. I and you see it as AccioJob, but the computer is just receiving ones and zeros and ones and zeros, and the computer automatically understands what it needs to show the user, right? So computers by default understands just zeros and ones, and there's an entire way that you can decode numbers by the way. Writing zero. So how many of you guys are aware of what binary is? Binary as a mathematical this thing. It's also a mathematical concept. Binary just means that you're going to represent data with just zeros and ones. Roger, the class will end in about 20 minutes. Don't worry. I know you guys have been sitting for a long time, but Annam Malai says Annam Malai has. So binary just means zeros and ones, and basically at the end of the day, the computer boils down everything to just zeros and ones, right? So uh, that is about that. And right. So my point was the computer does not really understand English or Hindi. What does it understand? Does it understand Python and JavaScript and C++ too? Not directly, right? So we say that these are all programming languages. It just yet, in fact, even after having these programming languages, all it understands is still just zero and one, right? Now, then, what are these programming languages? So, these programming languages are just languages which are built so that they can communicate with both us and the computer. We can write it and the computer can understand it. Because the computer cannot directly understand English, what we can do is we can at least try to write something that the computer can understand, right? Or maybe we write something that is then changed into something that the computer can understand. And that is what a programming language is, right? Right now, if I start speaking in Spanish, will you guys be able to understand it? Or if I start speaking in French or in Chinese, Japanese, Korean, will you guys directly understand it? No. But if I give you a translator, if I make a translator sit next to you, or if I enable that Google Translator thing, if I enable that, there's this mic where I can translate and it will translate back, right? So when I do that, will you be able to then understand what I'm saying? Correct, guys? You need a translator. Similarly, whatever we write, be it Python, JavaScript, C++, I'll come to what these things are. Whatever we write, even after writing this thing, there's something that the computer will need. And that is what we call as an interpreter or a compiler. As of right now, you guys can think of those two to be the same thing. Right. So basically, a programming language is just this language, quote unquote language. It is literally like an English Hindi language that we write something, we write an instructions in that language, and then what we need to do is we need to run that file, and we need to basically compile or make the compiler will compile that file. Right. Now, what is this compiler? That compiler is basically that translator. Right. So first, tell me how many of you guys understood the example of me speaking English, me speaking French or Japanese, and making a translator sit next to me, and then that translator speaks English, and then you guys understand English. How many of you guys understood that concept? So Roja is asking, what is the difference between Java and JavaScript? Roja, they are not at all the same thing. They are not at all the same thing. They are totally different languages. They just happen to have Java name inside of both of them. But right now we don't. I'll come to this. Annamalai says Annamalai understands. Right. Rahul says Rahul understands. Okay. So basically, see, you guys understood that example, right? The fact that if I make a translator set, you guys will be able to understand. Exactly. So I can write whatever language I want to, be it Python, JavaScript, C++, Java. I will still need that translator, and that translator is what we call as a compiler. So when I talk about a programming language, programming language is just this piece of code that you write. The reason why I talked about the translator is because can you write Java anywhere? Can I open a Word document and write my Java code and will it work? Can I write my Python code right over here? Maybe code something. Will it work? There needs to be a proper place where I need to put my code so that the computer understands it. Correct? Nikhil says no. Exactly, Nikhil. Right. I believe you're saying no to the point that I cannot write my Java code anywhere. I cannot just open MS Paint and write Java code. I cannot just open Google Docs or Microsoft PowerPoint or Excel and write Java. Right. So for that we'll also be using a Java compiler. And what is a Java compiler? Okay. So let me just write online Java compiler, and there are a lot of websites, and we can write a Java code over here. Right. So there are actually a lot of concepts that I want to cover. Right. This was just a quick walkthrough of everything. I will be coming back to everything. Don't worry. Tomorrow we'll start coding. Right now, I just wanted to show you guys that this is basically the entire hype of what is Java, what is a programming language, where do we write it, why do we need to write it. I just want to address those doubts, right? So again, let me just quickly recap everything. I know I taught a lot of concepts. So okay, what is a programming language? Programming language is just this language that we use to communicate with the computer, right? Now, can the computer understand it directly anywhere I type? Can I type it in Microsoft Word or PPT or anywhere? No, the computer will only understand it when I write it through a compiler, right? And what is a compiler? What is the job of this compiler? So basically, when I write my Java code, when I write my Java language, right, when I click on this run button, what will happen is the fact that this compiler will say, okay, the user, that is me, the user has, written something. Let me just go through it. If it has errors, it will say, hey, user, what you've written to the computer is not correct. It is errorful, right? What you've written is not the correct language or it's not the correct way to write it. So then it will ask me to correct it. But if I've written something correct, then it's going to translate it for the computer. And when it translates, yes, Roja, exactly. And that translation is what we call from the high level to the low level, right? We as humans, we obviously, our brain is never going to be as strong or as powerful. It is going to be creative, but it is not going to be as strong as a computer's brain. Computers can deal with hundreds and thousands of calculations in milliseconds, right? Our brain cannot do that. But what we can do is we can understand high level language. The computer only understands low level language. So what we can do is we will write a high level language being Java, Python, JavaScript, C++. There are so many C sharp, a lot of languages. But another mantra that I will give you is a mantra that I'll give you tomorrow only regarding programming. Don't worry. And with that mantra, you will forever believe the fact that all programming languages are the same, right? There is this fear in new developers that, oh, Java is different, oh, JavaScript is different, oh, Python is different. No, they're all different, but they all do the same thing. I will teach you guys that also. In the next 4 days, you guys are going to learn a lot. Trust me, right? But all right, Abhirami says compiler converts the program into readable binary code. Exactly, right? So compiler converts the program, by the way, program. What is a program? A set of instructions into readable binary code. What is binary? Low level language that the computer understands. What is the compiler? The translator. Someone who understands both the things. Someone who can compile everything and send it to the computer in one go to understand. Right? Yes, Roja, exactly. So now are you guys getting a hang of it? Are you guys understanding what programming is? Are you guys understanding what languages are? I know a lot of you guys might have a doubt. What is a language? Well, we said that we're going to talk to the computer. To talk, you need a language, right? We are talking in English, correct? So to communicate, you need a language. So that is the why of the language. Why are we doing Java now? That is another question that you guys might be thinking. That sir, there is Python, there is C++, there's C sharp, there's JavaScript. Why are we doing Java? Trust me, personally, if you master Java, you will master all programming languages. Firstly, that is something that I will want to say. Second, it's the standard that has been set by the computing community. Either Java or C++ should the one of these two languages. Every good programmer should have a good practice on, right? Even C sharp is good. C is also good. But are you guys understanding? So something that one advice that I would want to give you guys is the fact that you always in today's world, it is not like if everybody is doing Java, so you can say that, oh, everybody is doing Java, let me not do Java at all and be separate from the crowd. No, that is not how you become separate from the crowd. That way you will become totally separate from the crowd. Nobody will even look at you while they're hiring you. But what you need to do is, if everybody is doing something, you will definitely do that and you would want to do more, right? So Aniket is asking, why are we doing Java? So Aniket, firstly, two very informal answers if I'm giving you as a programmer is, it is a standard set by the computing community, programming community, right? Java is a good language. And another thing, if you master Java, you will master other languages. But apart from that, if I want to give you a bookish answer, I will tell you guys that Java also has a lot of advantages, right? One of the advantages is the fact that it is open source is fine, fast and high performance. So Java is one of the. So let's say if I ask Java to do a program, and if I ask a computer in some other language, right? Let's say Python. If I write some code in Python and if I write some code in Java, the Java one will be faster. Java is just in general faster, right? Uh, there are a lot of object oriented. These are again fancy words that I don't want to use in the first class. That is why I'm giving you guys a very simple answer. Not only is Java, the better in terms of performance, it is fast, it is easy to code as well, but it is a standard that has been set, and it will definitely help you master and understand all concepts very in depth, right? No, Akshay, not directly. So Sai Kumar is saying, sir, FANG companies are mostly asked through Java, DSA, or C++ with DSA. Why? So see, Sai Kumar, so basically what Sai Kumar is asking is, why do companies or big companies prefer only Java and C++? I was telling you guys that, right? Companies just prefer uh, Java and C++ or such languages. The reason for that is because there are a lot of concepts that can be tested in these languages, right? Like, okay, if you want to, let's say if I give you, you guys don't know what an array is, so I don't want to touch that topic also. You guys will learn everything in the next 4 days, don't worry. um, okay, let me just make it very okay. As a company or as a person who's taking your interview, I can ask you guys a lot of things in a lot of depth and detail if you are a Java programmer. All right. If you are a Python programmer, there are certain inbuilt functions only. In Python and JavaScript, there are a lot of inbuilt functions. And what are inbuilt functions are basically uh, code uh, programs that you don't have to write the code for. Pre-built programs. Like, see, this is okay. I don't want to confuse you guys. Let's discuss this in a few days. Sai Kumar, I will be copying this and I'll be taking a note of your question and I will be answering this at the last lecture. Right now, I don't want to confuse students, but a simple answer that I would want to give you guys is the fact that companies ask Java and C++ because they can test in depth about your knowledge. All right. Uh, Roja is asking, what is an interpreter? All right. So, Roja, do you remember the example where I said, I will speak French, I will make a person sit next to me, that person will speak English. I will speak in French, I will give you guys some instruction, that person will translate it. Will you be able to understand his translation or will you be able to understand mine thing? I'm assuming you don't know French, so you're going to understand his thing, right? So what basically interpreter does is it just interprets the code and it converts it using a compiler. It compiles it and then converts it into a low language binary code that the computer can understand. I am for so Neeraj is asking MBA, but Neeraj, I did not understand your question. Can you please frame it a little better? Harish says, but Python is easier than Java or C++. Yes, definitely. Right. See, every language is easy if you do it right. But Python, I'll tell you why Python is easy because firstly, Python is very new and it is very close to English. It is not English, but it is very close to English. And it is very open. It allows you to do a lot of things. Java has certain rules. It has certain syntax. Obviously, every language has syntax. But syntax is just rules according to which you need to write the code. We'll come to all of these things in detail. Don't worry. Guys, let's just ask the basic doubts today. All the complex doubts we'll take care in tomorrow and day after tomorrow's class. Akshay says in full stack development course, they directly start with the basics of JS to basics advanced. Full stack development, yes. In development, we start with HTML, CSS, then we talk about JavaScript, then we talk about advanced JavaScript, and then we come to React and then placement readiness. So in 6 months, you guys, I think it takes 6 months or 7 months for a student to get ready for a placement readiness module. But yes, Nikhil says, can we also learn OOPS? Yes, I in these lectures you will not. But guys, okay. So something that I will say is I think Nikhil and even Abhirami. So right, there are 2 3 students who are actually I can see that they have a little background of what programming is and they're already ready to move ahead. So something that I will say is you guys can go to the AccioJob channel and in the AccioJob channel there are certain playlists that have been made, right? And there are certain DSA topics covered by Bhavya only, the instructor, the wonderful instructor who took the introduction right now, right? Otherwise, you can go to the live sessions, and there are a lot of live sessions that have already been done, right? Regarding basics of fundamentals of OOPS. Somebody said OOPS. Nikhil, if you want to know the fundamentals of OOPS before this, obviously 4 day class is separate. Feel free to watch this video, right? You can learn anything and everything from our YouTube channel, right? Somebody said how to build a career in data analytics. I think Let me scroll up. Somebody had that doubt. Ankit had that doubt, right? Ankit, are you still here? Hello, Ankit, are you still here? Neeraj says, I'm looking for coding, but which is the best? See, it depends for what do you want to code. Like for data analytics, they say Python is the best. For DSA, they say Java is the best. Every programming language, no programming language is bad. Every programming language has its pros and its cons. But in general, like I said, Java or C++, a good developer should always know, right? So I don't think so. Ankit is active on the chats, but if you guys know Ankit personally, okay, Ankit is here. Good job, Ankit. So Ankit, if you want to learn more on how to build your data analytics career, please have a look at this 2 hour session, right? Um, Definitely have a look at this if you guys want to, learn anything else, fundamentals of arrays, shake. Somehow, see, guys, this is what I'm saying. Anything and everything that you want can be, you guys can just come to the AccioJob YouTube channel and you guys can see, right? Nizamuddin just said that he has understood the basics of Java, but he does not understand intermediate like arrays. So Nizamuddin, there you go, fundamentals of arrays, right in the middle, right? Taken by an SD at Google who's working with us, correct? So see, there are a lot of these coding master classes that we have taken. Fundamental of OOPS. OOPS is another concept, another fancy word. We'll be covering this in a while, right? So don't worry, guys. There is a lot that you guys can learn from just this platform and from this 4 days of lectures, right? So all right. Nizamuddin says, okay, thank you. Neeraj says, as per market values, which is platform? Neeraj, as per market values also, if you want to go for data analytics, Python is there, but apart from that, for any other thing, JavaScript is there. For AI/ML, again Python. For proper DSA problem solving, Java is preferred. All right. For anything, yeah, for oops also Java will be preferred. All right. So now, before, obviously it is about to be 10 p.m. and I promise that I'll let you guys go. Something that I want to talk to you guys about is, we'll cover the basics of Java. We'll start with Java tomorrow. We can do that tomorrow, not an issue. But what I would want to do is give you guys this particular homework: the fact that you will have to install an IDE. Now, what is an IDE? Let me write it over here. IDE. What is an IDE? IDE is what we call as an integrated development environment, right? And now basically what that means is the fact that I talked to you guys about where will you write Java, right? So to write Java, you will have to install certain programs. There are a lot of programs. Links have been given over here. Maybe you want to download IntelliJ, Eclipse. Maybe you can also use an online compiler for now. For this 4 days, I will not really want you guys to download anything. You guys can just use an online compiler like I am, and I will share these code snippets with you guys, right? Tomorrow also, Neeraj, 8 to 10 p.m. This session is going to be there today, tomorrow, 14th, and from 12th to 15th, 8 to 10 p.m. in the night. Right, obviously, 8 to 10 p.m. Sanjeeva says, I'm interested in web development. Is it necessary? Uh, it is not necessary, Sanjeeva, but it is advised. And definitely start with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript if you don't want to do Java. Whatever you want to do, feel free to do that. Right? Akshay says Visual Studio Code is the best. Agreed. So VS Code is, by the way, the best IDE that is there. Right? So feel free to download that as well. Right? VS Code has been built by Microsoft only, one of their best programs. But right, correct. So do download this VS Code. Very easy to download. Just click over here, and then you can just download it. Whatever your system is, be it Mac, Windows, Linux, download this, and then we'll continue from here tomorrow. Basically, again, let me just remind you guys, what is an IDE? An IDE is what you call as an integrated development environment. It is just a software that allows you to code everything in one place, right? You guys can see the output also there. You can write the code also there. It understands the code also. You can run that file also, and that is what we call as an IDE, right? So something that I will say is, you guys will be getting an assignment that you will have to solve, right? And that in that assignment, IDE will be asked. Don't worry about that, right? But right. So today you guys will have to do an assignment. It's a takeaway assignment, and somebody talked about certificates, right? I believe these assignments are important for the certificate. If you guys want the bootcamp certificate, all right. And please do the assignment. The assignment will be shared with you guys. It will be uploaded on this chat also. So I think we can already get that uploaded. Just a second. Let me ask for the assignment to be uploaded, and then we can quickly end the class as well. All right. Uh, okay. So Neeraj is saying for data analysis, we need to learn SQL, also Power BI and Excel. It depends. Data analysis, there are a lot of things that you can use. I am not the best person to ask. Feel free to, again, Neeraj, I think there's a video on YouTube that I just showed at AccioJob channel. Feel free to watch that. That will be the best guide for you. All right. So you guys will be getting an assignment. Like I said, we'll be sharing the assignment shortly. Please do not leave the session. There are 41, still 42 students. That's good, right? And I know 2 hours has been very tiring. Today's class was very, very simple. Don't worry. From tomorrow, we're going to catch up the pace. We're going to start with Java. I'm going to teach you very, very important concepts of Java. And I'm also going to teach you some tricks, definitely, right? Let's just quickly do a recap, right? We learned what is the basics of computer. We started right from the scratch. What is a program? Why do we need these both of these things? What is programming? Why learn programming? What is a programming language, right? How many programming languages are there? We talked a whole lot about programming and how to get started, right? Now we've come to the part where we are going to install IDEs, which are basically integrated development environments. These are softwares, applications where you can code, right? Obviously, I cannot write Java in thin air. I cannot write it in my MS Paint or my Google Docs. I need a proper place for where I can write my Java code and the computer can understand it. Right? What is an interpreter? What is a compiler? A compiler compiles the code, an interpreter interprets the code, it translates from the high level to the low level. High level being Java, Python, JavaScript, C++, any language any programming language, not English, Hindi, any programming language, it converts high level code into binary code. What is binary? 1 and 0, 1 and 0, 1 and 0. As humans, we cannot really understand binary. That is why we built high level languages, and those high level languages convert the code into low level languages. Right? Did I do a good recap? Nizamuddin says, Sir, I completed 8 assignments and 4 are remaining. I didn't understand remaining. Nizamuddin, I will not be able to help you today. Maybe tomorrow we can discuss this assignment. But today, I believe we will let others submit these assignments. Right? So, how many of you guys are aware of the assignment already? Has it been shared with you guys? Has the assignment been shared with you guys? Sanjeeva says no. Abhirami says no. All right. So let me just ping the team again and we'll get the assignment uploaded. Ask again. Yes, Roja, I'll ask again. Don't worry, I'm not leaving you guys without giving you the assignment. Okay, it is there. I think it has been attached on the top of the screen then. Just a second. I think it is in the pre-course module then. Just a second, guys. Okay. So it will be there in the pre-course section and it will be there in the beginners this thing. Okay. So if you guys go to the portal, I believe this is the orientation, and over here you guys should be able to see the assignment. I'm so sorry. Right? Yes. So all right. Okay, so you guys will also receive the okay, everyone, you guys will also receive the assignment via WhatsApp. Don't worry about it. But what you guys can go do is you guys can log on to the precourse.acciojob.com, and you guys will then be able to see it over here under orientation. And when you see the orientation, you can see start unit, right? So just click on this, and you guys can click on the start unit, and this is the assignment that should open up. Right, I'm really sorry for the confusion that was there. This is the assignment that has been already uploaded on the pre-quiz. Right. Somehow this totally skipped my mind. I'm really sorry. But you guys will definitely get the assignment via WhatsApp also. But right. So how many of you guys know what this pre-course is? On your portal, right? You guys will see this on your portal, and on the portal itself, there is this orientation. This is the live class that is happening, right? As you guys can see, this is the live class that is going on. So 8 p.m. 12 July, right? Click on Start Unit, and that will directly take you to this link where you will be finishing your doing your assignment. All right. So is this clear to everyone? Will everyone be able to find their assignments now? It is already there in the pre-course over here. Okay, cool. So, how many of you guys are clear with whatever we did today, and how many of you guys are satisfied? Please give me a good feedback, because again, the next 4 days are going to be with me. So, I would really appreciate you guys to give me a good feedback and to tell me if is there anything wrong with the way I teach, maybe something that you would want me to change. I'm open to feedback, and I would love to learn from you guys as well. Right? We all are here to grow, so definitely do give me a good feedback and let me know whatever you guys think is needed. If I need to change the pace, or if I need to change the way I teach, right? I did talk a lot. Okay. So Ankit says cannot find Ankit. Go to precourse.acciojob.com. Then go to precourse over here. And when you click on precourse over here, you will see this orientation. And in the orientation, you will see start unit. All right. Sanjeeva says you're too good. Thank you, Sanjeeva. I know I talked a lot about basics of programming. What is programming? What are computers? All of the basic things. But trust me, in the next 4 days, we have enough time to cover a whole lot of Java, a whole lot of programming, a whole lot of variables. Do not worry about everything. I'll be teaching you everything from scratch. Right? Even if there are certain concepts that you missed today, we shall recover them tomorrow. We shall revise them tomorrow. Do not worry about it. Right? Any other feedback, guys? And again, please feel free to, not feel free to, you definitely need to do this assignment. Please do this assignment. The link will be available over here, right? And please start this today itself. And it's a very simple assignment. You guys will be able to do it. And once done, let me know, right? Karthik says satisfied. Sheikh says thank you. Thank you. And thank you to you guys also for being such a great audience, for, keeping the chats active and making sure that nobody gets bored, right? All right. So I believe we can end the session now. A lot of you guys are sitting empty stomachs and you want to have dinner, right? I think we started the class on this note, and we shall also end this class on this note itself, right? So feel free. I think we can end the session now, and you guys can go enjoy your days. Today was a good session. We still have 3 more days. We'll be covering a whole lot in the next 3 days, right? So see you tomorrow. Until then, have a good day. Take care of yourselves, and obviously, good night.